Alright guys, old blue cord. Back again. Guess we're going to call this the 2023 recap since it is about the end of the year. Been kind of just cleaning the carburetor a little bit, and as you can see, not that great in there. But you know, really, it's not been that bad. I've got to go ahead and I want to check that needle, seat, and all that stuff. But yeah, just trying to clean some of the grunge out of there. I've been kind of pickling it a little bit with the PB blaster, and I may actually put a little. I may start using the carburetor cleaner. I really don't want to use this stuff right away because it kind of dries everything out, and I want to keep it wet since we're trying to not keep it from corroding. But really, it's not that bad. You know, really, this carburetor's not that bad. I'm really surprised. I think it's going to run pretty good once I just get it cleaned up a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things you read online. Not so much you read online, but you've got some guys on YouTube, and these guys are popular. They've got 300,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers. But some of the things, I understand it's a business, and you have to add a little drama to whatever you're doing. Cleaning a carburetor's fine and everything like that. There's a million videos like that out there, and if you really are looking to make some money on this, you got to jump on the bandwagon. So a couple things I saw, just, and I hate to just call people out. I think next year I'm probably going to do some, I guess I hate to say it, call out videos, because I hate people that they're kind of like incorrect in what they're trying to tell you. I think they know it, but they don't care. Honestly, they don't care. They're just making money. It's a job. But one of them was about, I understand people don't like electric cars. Say, let's just take electric cars. People don't like electric cars. That's fine. So you make a comment or two or three and say, hey, I don't like electric cars. I like gasoline cars. I think that's fine. I like gasoline cars. I don't really know much about electric cars. I don't own one. I don't hate them. I may try to rent one next year just to try it, but yeah, and then you get in this thing where, like, oh, the battery on this certain car is $60,000 and it's unreplaceable and they're all going to catch fire and all these crazy things that, they probably have some merit, but I mean, gasoline cars catch fire all the time. Gasoline catches fire. I mean, I'm using brake cleaner on this. I'm trying to be careful. I've got a little fire going in the fire, in the wood stove, but you got to be careful. And I think, it's easy to get where you're just maybe over exaggerating a little bit, and we all know it. It's entertainment and all that, but I think it can be a little bit maybe overdone. And there's some people that just jump on the bandwagon. When I saw the thing about the car that the battery was $60,000 and the car was like 70 maybe, first thing I did was look it up because I don't know anything about the car or the battery. I know the batteries on some of the older model cars, like the Paris and stuff, are like $1,500. And I understand that the battery pack in a car is going to be most of the value or most of the car because it's expensive to build. I mean, I can understand that. But, when you look it up and everything, it really wasn't $60,000. Somebody started that, and then just like every other internet rumor, it caught fire, and a bunch of people made money off of it, and that's cool. I always try to use simple, stories about myself. So, I don't like chicken. Like, I don't have any legitimate reason why I don't like chicken. I don't like the taste of it. But I don't make up all these crazy stories like if you eat chicken, you're going to die, or you eat chicken, you're going to grow 3 legs or 4 eyes, or I don't blow the whole thing up. I just don't really care for chicken that much. It's not a big deal. Not against chicken farmers, not against chickens. I actually kind of like chickens. Over time, I've kind of grown to be, my neighbors have chickens, and they're kind of cool. I guess we could take over there and take care of them once in a while. So, don't hate chickens. I just don't like eating chicken. No big deal. Probably not going to get a whole lot of YouTube hits off of that, but maybe some guy will someday. You never know. So that's, and it's been one of those years where obviously some things get, it's called things are getting blown out of proportion. Uh, and I take it back to cars because, like I use E85, I've used E85 in this carburetor, and the first thing two or three people said, well, E85 ate your carburetor to pieces, it's totally shot and all that. And then when you look at all the parts, you're like, there's nothing besides getting water in my fuel, and obviously this is the fuel that is in my tank, and honestly that's not gasoline. I don't know what that is. It's water in sludge and something else. So I let water get in my gas tank because it was open to the rain and elements, and that's made a mess of my carburetor. Now you can blame, Joe Biden or Trump or Putin or whoever you want to blame for the whole thing, but that's my own fault for not really keeping track of my fuel system correctly. But yeah, so I think anyway, I don't want to make this too long of a video because it could get kind of silly. But I think for next year, I'm going to start. I kind of do videos on things I do read online, and I don't make that always very obvious. Obviously, the stuff about batteries and some things, it's kind of obvious what I'm getting at, or E85. There's so many ridiculous things out there. I mean, you can spend all day. You really can spend all day trying to negate them. But I might try next year to just do a little bit more of a kind of tie my videos into what I'm reading online and then take that topic. I think that's probably a better direction than just a random me sitting here talking and, messing around cleaning this carburetor or whatever. That's where I want to go in 2023. It's kind of like the recap video, I guess. I mean, there's going to be a lot of other, interesting stuff. And I like doing the videos because it kind of keeps me motivated. It's a little bit of a cold day out here, but I got the garage heated up. Did a few videos, moved, and actually worked on cars. Because the whole thing about for me is working on a car and keeping my old cars running. I keeping my new cars running, obviously, too. And then learning a little bit about something and just kind of relax. And it really is relaxing for me to come out here and not have to, deal with the all day kind of things that, go on. And that's part of having a hobby, I guess. And that's probably overlooked. And I think it's overlooked in a lot of videos, maybe, that this can be a hobby to a lot of people. You shouldn't have to spend a whole lot of money to have a good time with it. And I think you can get away without spending a whole lot of money. And if you do a little bit of the work yourself. And that's kind of important. So, and I think there's a couple channels. I'm gonna mention a few. Like Savage Geese is one of my favorites. They're trying to show you what new modern cars are like, but they're also trying to explain to you the feeling you get when you're in a car. And it's hard to convey on a video, but this is like, they talked about a Porsche the other day or some other car, and everything about the car. The shifting, the throttle position, the this, the that, makes the car a good car, and a bad car, a bad car. And that's kind of hard to convey, obviously, on a video. But I think, we all, if you're interested in cars, and obviously this video channel is about cars. If you're interested in cars, you kind of know what a crappy car is, and then what a not so crappy car is, and when you're trying to portray that. It's a little hard. I mean, you can use a lot of big words and stuff like that and go-to topics and stuff, but we all kind of know what our favorite car is and how it feels and how it drives and what the inputs do and what the outputs do, like when you turn the steering wheel or hit the gas or whatever. So that's kind of cool that they're trying to capture that. There was a RPO, I can't, I should have really wrote it down, but it's RPO, and they did a whole series on these carburetors, which is crazy because these electronic carburetors, when I was a kid or younger, were just nobody wanted to fool with them. He has got tons of videos on how to tune these carburetors up, what to look for, with the electronics on them. And a lot of these carburetors came on cars that are pretty cool. There's like a Monte Carlo. There was an Oldsmobile car, with the swoop at the front end and stuff that were really cool cars, except they had this electronic stuff on them. That obviously, they were before fuel injection. They were trying to past emissions, etc. And so those cars are still out there, and guys want to work on them, you know, and restore them and stuff. So it's kind of cool that there's all these videos and information. When I took this carburetor apart, I kind of was lost at what I had done all those years ago, but I got online, and I mean, I went down the rabbit hole. I probably watched 40 hours of Quadrajet rebuild videos, which is cool. I just think it's awesome that there's so much information out there now that there never was. You know, when I did this carburetor, there was no information. The book was real vague. The electronic part of it, forget about it. And I had grown up with, a little bit when I was a mechanic working on these carburetors, and I never really did understand them. So, or how this, you know, how this all electronics and what they were looking at and the throttle position sensor. So it was really cool to kind of learn all that. That's not what I did here. This carburetor was a really super cheap used carburetor. It needed to be modified by me, and then, you know, I'll go into some stuff with the E85 part someday. But you know, this carburetor, the vehicle is non-stock, so you had to modify the carburetor. This was fine for a stock vehicle, but it needed to be modified for a modified vehicle, I guess I should say. But yeah, the RPO restoration, good place. You know, Uncle Tony's Garage. A lot of stuff I disagree with him about, but he's a really fun one to check out. There's several really cool video channels on there. Matt's Off Road. I enjoy watching him. That's something I did as a kid, going four-wheeling and stuff, so it's kind of just fun to sit back and do his extractions and all that. And it's kind of like a troubleshooting thing. I like troubleshooting, obviously. And I try to give people maybe some tools or maybe some insight into how you troubleshoot something. I think that's really, really important nowadays. I think we're kind of losing that in the mechanical, technical field, you know. And I try to help people maybe think a little bit about what they're doing. They definitely think outside the box. Obviously, by converting this carburetor to partially running E85 22 years ago, or whatever the year was, probably 24 years ago, that's definitely thinking outside the box, and it really kind of ended up working out really well. So just to bring it back to cars and carburetors and all that stuff. But yeah, so, you know, and that's probably going to be where I'm at for 2024. I think I'm going to add a little bit more tech, you know, maybe technical, maybe not so much editing, but technical stuff to my, like, why am I doing this video? Why am I doing my battery videos? Why am I, you know, I'm trying to show people to use a meter when they check a battery. There's stuff I read online that just, you know, guys like, my battery's bad, and you're like, how do you know? Well, it's bad. I mean, that's okay. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's dumb. It's just like, how do you determine that? By, you know, your car won't start. Somebody told you that. You ran it over. You know, another car ran over your battery. I mean, how do you determine all that? And I think some of the answers are kind of, once you spell out something in a technical way, sometimes people see like they're kind of acting like, you know, that's not the way you really should be looking at that, obviously. So we'll see. We're going to try that for next year. So it might be a little bit different feel for the channel than just the normal, here's how you turn a wrench, here's how you clean a carburetor, etc., etc., etc. And hopefully you guys like it. You know, I'm still enjoying doing these videos. You know, honestly, I'm not making any money on it, and I'm not really you know, I'm not expecting to get like 1 million subscribers next year, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's just been a fun thing for me. It's kind of been a different outlet. I didn't think I'd ever do anything like this. So, yeah, and I'm pretty excited about all my little projects, you know, it's cars and stuff like that. You may see some stuff about electric cars next year. I'm definitely interested in them. I think a car is a car. I think the propulsion can be anything. Obviously, when I did E85 20-some years ago, that was pretty new. I mean, it's still an internal combustion engine, but you have a different fuel, and I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with that at all. So using electricity and batteries and stuff like that, to me, seems pretty much a no-brainer, I guess. But, yeah, we might do some more stuff about that, and then I've got a couple things about, you know, fuel pumps coming up. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of fuel pumps laying around. I need to talk about them, electric, mechanical, parts. Just put a big parts order in the Rock Auto. I'm kind of excited about that. So a lot of parts for the Honda, of course. And I'm going to keep the channel mostly about the Honda, but I've got other cars and other interests, so I'm going to try to add to that too. And that's probably about where we're at, for Old Blue Accord. Always check out 3gs.com. That's a great source for these cars. I enjoyed, answering questions on there and everything like that. And this is one of my favorite cars. So even with the new ones, the old ones, and all the ones in between, it's just got the driving feel and the things I like about cars, handling and cool design and things like that. So, and I'm going to keep emphasizing that. So, but I really appreciate you guys tuning in and everything, and I take suggestions too. A lot of people, there's been people that don't like my channel. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm here to learn something. And obviously with this carburetor, like I said, I watched like 40 hours worth of videos because I kind of forget how things go. I want to know how the little hook for the needle and seat is laying right there. I've got to figure out how that goes back on. The needle and seat needs to be cleaned up a little bit. A little this, little that, and that's cool thing about YouTube. You learn a lot about a lot of different topics, and I'm excited to keep going with it. So I guess I'll leave it there. That's my 2023 message. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and Old Blue Accord. Like and subscribe. Kind of helps me out a little bit. Keeps me motivated. So yeah, we'll get this carburetor put back on. It's gonna be a big one, and I can't wait to clean my gas tank out. That little bit right there. I can't wait to see what's in there. That'll be fun. So I've got a plan for that anyway, so it's ready to go. But yep, thanks again for looking. And like I said, I'm not sponsored. I'm just on my own. Obviously I use some cool products and stuff like that. Blaster, and I like Havoline and Power Lube and stuff like that. But I'm not sponsored or anything. So anytime you can subscribe, and help me out a little bit, I appreciate it. So thanks again. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. So 2024 is looking like it's going to be a really cool year. So pretty excited. Thanks again. And that'll be it.